Hello, welcome to Andrew Teaches Online. Today we're going to discuss... Okay, now the driver. We all want to hit the ball 300 meters or so. We all want to at least hit it over the top of that fence down there. Again, there's no shortcuts to doing that. It requires a great deal of skill. It requires a great deal of technique. You've got to get the technique right. And that really just boils down to just a lot of practice. There's no secret with hitting a driver. I often say to people, a driver is actually an easy club to use because it's such a big head. It's very forgiving. You know, it's just you tee the ball up. Everything about hitting a driver is easy. Where people find it becomes quite difficult is one, their technique isn't good enough. And as I pointed out with the longer iron, if it exaggerates your faults. The longer the club gets, what will be a little mishit with a 7-iron with a club like this is a disastrous hit. So that's where people find this club quite difficult. A few little tips though is we're putting the ball on a tee, and it's quite personal with how high you tee the ball up. A general rule is that half the ball should be above the top of the club. So, but this becomes personal. Some people like to tee it down a little lower. I personally like to tee it up quite high. So we just put the ball in here. So I got maybe just a fraction more than half the ball over the top of the club. Again, you can actually use quite a wide stance here so that you're actually keeping your balance. This will be one of these shots that a little wider than you would do with your longer irons. That's going to help your balance at the end of the swing. Ball much further forward. This time, hitting a driver, you're actually trying to hit the ball when the club head is beginning to go on its upward swing path. You don't want to be hitting down on this shot. Again, that just isn't going to help you at all. You're just going to get very weak, very high shots that pop out to the right. It's a terrible golf shot. So when hitting a driver, the apex of the arc of the swing is going to be around here somewhere, and then you're going to be starting to strike the ball on the up movement. So what you're trying to do is actually launch the ball into the sky. You don't want to be trying to hit it low. You actually want to try to hit the ball up into the air. You want it to stay up in the air. The longer the ball stays in the air, the longer it's carrying. So launch the ball upwards. That means, as I've already said, we put the ball further forward. I personally like the ball quite a long way forward in my stance, towards the toe of my left foot. It can be played on the instep of your left foot. Ideally, it should be on the heel of your left foot. You have to play around a little bit yourself, but ball is further forward. Also a good idea that you tilt your body a little bit so that your right shoulder is much lower than your left shoulder. So you're actually tilting so that you're actually behind the ball. Don't put weight on your right foot. That's not the meaning. Your weight should be even on both feet. You then make this very low takeaway. Again, very important to keep the club head low to the ground as you swing the club away from the ball. Normal swing, big turn, a big coil up here, and you generate speed and power, and you're just launching the ball up into the sky. So, big long swing and creating speed and power, turning your body through the ball, and trying to keep your balance. If you're off balance at the end of the driver, it's not necessarily a disaster, but it's not ideal. So try to keep your balance at the end. And slide over the fence. So, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next exciting installment. But in the meantime, if you have any problems, you can always send in a request or a question. You can also send me your swing. You can quite simply send it to my email address or even my WhatsApp, and I will send back a personalized analysis of your golf swing to help you get better.